I have been working on figuring out how to do the workshop method well in online instruction with online instruction for a while now, and I think I've found a bit of a niche that I can work with, a bit of a solution to the problem. And if you've seen the series of videos that have led up to this, which you probably haven't because this is really just for me, then you would know that there are a lot of different options out there, a lot of different ways that we can focus on work time. What I've kind of landed on now for work time is a process that has to be built days in advance. Here's how I'm kind of currently working on it, and this kind of happened, some of it happened by accident yesterday in class. But I'm starting off class with work time. So by starting off class with work time, that's solving a huge problem that I'm facing. With online instruction, one of the things that I'm noticing is students don't check in at the exact time. Normally there's a bell schedule that helps them get to where they belong. And I work with middle schoolers, and middle schoolers need structure. So if they don't have alarms set on their iPad or things like that, it's gonna be really hard for them to get to class on time perfectly every time. So what I see is a huge range of time between when students start showing up for my online class and students stop showing up. And what that means is I have students every single day that are missing a chunk of core instruction. And there is an easy solution to that, which is video all of my lessons and then make those available to students, and they have to go back and do it later. But I know my students, I don't think most of my students would do that, especially the ones that are showing up, 10, 15 minutes late. So basically what I've decided to do is start off class with a work time and help time. So they start off class kind of soft, if you will. They're working on what they were working on during the last class, and they have a chance to ask for help. This is a chance for me to do some extra demonstrations of stuff that they may have missed, but it saves my core instruction for that day to a time when most likely everybody's on. Now, my first try at this, I did it for 5 minutes. I had just 5 minutes of my class, plus the extra 5 or 10 minutes of kids who show up early, which is awesome too. That's another thing that's an awesome side effect, that kids show up early. I have kids that show up 7 or 8 minutes early to class, and so as long as I have my online class open, then we can get a lot more done and better differentiation with those students, which is great. But anyway, I started with just 5 minutes, and the students show up. I can share my screen and have something written on the screen that says, at this time, please continue working on blank, whatever that class is and whatever that project they've been working on. And then at the end of those 5 minutes, I started my core instruction. I still had one student that was late after that, but generally speaking, I've noticed if you just start class on time and kids show up, most of them kind of start to get it. After a little bit, they start to realize, okay, I have to show up because he's gonna start class. But when at the first week of school, I really pushed it and let them trickle in, and all the kids are just sitting around staring at their cameras, and it's awkward, and it's not really a useful time. And we are already losing instructional time just by the fact that this online learning is not as efficient and as effective as in school learning. No surprise there. We create learning environments for a reason. They're better than what you have at home. So all of that to say, I think I might do 5 or 10 minutes, depending on which class it is. The classes that I'm struggling with students getting here on time, those classes I'll spend a little more time of work time, and that gives me a chance to kind of reach out to those students who are falling through the cracks a little bit, that are showing up late, that those students, if I'm in the middle of teaching, then I don't have a chance to address it. But if they're showing up during work time, then maybe it's a little bit less awkward, a little bit easier for me to address it through private chat or something like that, depending on the situation. After that initial work time, we go to core instruction, and whatever core instruction looks like that day, whether it's responding to yesterday's exit tickets or whatever, utilizing that core instruction is really important. And I have learned in my career, especially with middle school, I've taught elementary as well in the past, and with middle school especially, having a consistent core instruction every single day is necessary. Even if what the students are working on as a project, that they don't really need any extra instruction on that project that particular day. If they're doing the learning through doing, then you might not need to say anything, but I safeguard that core instruction because it keeps that structure alive for my class, and that really helps me. After the core instruction, they'll go back to work time depending on how much time is left in class and how long that core instruction has to be. Like I said, typically I like to try and do short core instructions so that I can do them every single day and kind of focus on small chunks along the way. And then go back to work time and add a share time. I can't do a share time every single day, or I haven't yet, but at some point I might start to lean towards doing a share time of some sort every single day as their exit ticket. And I really, really, really need those exit tickets for online instruction. That is something that I keep catching myself. If I don't have a clear, this is how we're ending class, and I'm dismissing them by name, then I just don't get the same amount of follow through. The nice thing about that is it makes it really clear for students when they're supposed to leave, so they know that they belong where they are, and that's like Maslow's, right? They feel that sense of belonging, and then they know when they're dismissed to go on to their next class. So that's really helpful to me. Those exit tickets are super crucial. It also reveals something else. Some of those students really don't like to turn their cameras on, and so if they're working in the background, then their camera naturally turns off. And I don't actually know if they're there or if they're working or anything like that. Having exit tickets, having check-ins where I'm calling out students by name does kind of reveal, are you actually there and are you actually doing the work? Which most of our kids really are, which is amazing. And I'm really proud of them, because if I were a middle schooler right now, I could tell you I'd be playing video games or doing something like that, because it takes a lot of discipline to do this. And so I'm really proud of my students that they've been able to figure that out. So that's I think the winning strategy, and I think we'll find out tomorrow morning, but I think that this is the last time, for a while at least, that I'll be talking about work time and what work time looks like, and we'll start looking at some other aspects that I need to be reflecting on as an educator. But my encouragement to myself is to start off with work time, push back core instruction, add some work time, and then some kind of share time, exit ticket, something to end the class naturally as a lesson closure. And I hope that that is something that encourages you today as well. I hope you have a great day of teaching.